They tried to keep these two monsters apart. They sent security, they sent officials, they sent Triple H himself down to that ring. And none of it mattered. None of it. Because what happened on the 6th of April edition of Monday Night Raw inside the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas was not a wrestling segment. It was not a contract signing. What you witnessed, or what Netflix tried to hide from you before cutting the broadcast, was a war, a destruction, a scene so violent, so uncontrollable, that even after the cameras were supposed to be off, these two animals were still trying to kill each other. Ring steps flying through the air, bodies being launched across that ring like they weighed nothing. An official powerbombed in the middle of the ring while Brock Lesnar stood on the ramp watching like a predator surveying the damage he caused. And here's what's going to make your blood boil. WWE cut the broadcast on Netflix before you even got to see most of it. They rolled the credits. They showed you the credits while Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi were dismantling each other in real time. Think about that. You pay for Netflix. You sit down Monday night, and they hide the most explosive moment of the entire show from you. Why? We're going to get into exactly why. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to want to share this, because what Triple H did in that ring, what WWE allowed to happen, and what is coming at WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas will have the wrestling world divided. Stay right here, because this is only getting worse. Segment 1: The Feud Origin, How We Got Here. To understand the magnitude of what happened on the 6th of April, you have to go back to the 31st of January 2026. The Royal Rumble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Oba Femi the ruler was dominating that battle royal, tossing men around like they were paper bags. And then Brock Lesnar entered. The music hit, that iconic theme filled the arena, and everyone in the wrestling world held their breath because this was the collision nobody saw coming. Their feud ignited right there at the Royal Rumble, when Lesnar got the best of their first encounter, eliminating Femi while Femi was distracted by Logan Paul. Yahoo Sports Now. Pause right there and think about that for a second. Oba Femi, a man who has been physically dominating everyone on the main roster, got eliminated. Not cleanly, not in a fair fight. He got distracted. And that detail, that little piece of information, that is the fuel that has been burning inside Oba Femi for the last 2.5 months. Trivia question 1. Drop your answer in the comments. Before WrestleMania 42, how many times do you think Oba Femi physically got the better of Brock Lesnar in their pre-match encounters on Raw? We'll be reading every single reply. A few weeks after the Royal Rumble, Lesnar issued an open challenge for WrestleMania 42. Seth Rollins initially appeared to be the man stepping up, but then Oba Femi emerged as the chosen challenger. Yahoo Sports. And this is where things started to get interesting, because Femi didn't just accept the challenge. He announced to the world that he was going to end Brock Lesnar, not beat him, destroy him. And in the weeks leading into the 6th of April, it wasn't Lesnar standing tall, it was Femi. In their brief physical encounters on the 16th of March and the 23rd of March episodes of Raw, Femi had largely gotten the better of Lesnar, delivering powerbombs and clotheslines that left the beast reeling. Yahoo Sports let that sink in. Brock Lesnar, the man who broke The Undertaker's streak, the man who conquered John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Goldberg, was on the receiving end of punishment. And WWE tried to spin it like Lesnar was still in control. He was not. Segment the 2nd of April 6th Raw, the contract signing from hell. So by the time the 6th of April rolled around, the entire wrestling world knew something was going to explode in Houston. This was the 6th episode of Raw during the 7-week build to WrestleMania 42, and despite the overall build being described as a massive mess, the Oba Femi vs. Brock Lesnar story was the one thing WWE had genuinely nailed. Cage side seats. Adam Pearce, bless his heart, decided the best idea was to put both men in the same building for a contract signing. And here's the part that should tell you everything about how delusional WWE management can be sometimes. Pearce himself admitted, quote, "Frankly, against my better judgment, once again I will put Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar in the same place." Cage side seats, he knew. He said it with his own mouth. And he did it anyway. So when everything went sideways, Adam Pearce, you don't get to be surprised. Trivia question 2. Comment below. Has a WWE contract signing ever actually gone smoothly? Name one. We're waiting. Here's how the sequence of events unfolded. Adam Pearce attempted to introduce both men, but Paul Heyman immediately cut him off to introduce Lesnar first. Wrestling Incorporated. Because of course Heyman did. That man cannot resist a microphone. Lesnar made his entrance. The fans in Houston were electric. And then Pearce introduced Oba Femi. Lesnar went straight after Femi the second he entered, but Femi sent Lesnar crashing into the ring post. Then Femi sent both himself and Lesnar crashing through the table set up for the contract signing, as security flooded the ring trying to separate them. Wrestling Incorporated. Chairs thrown, table obliterated, security swarmed, and the document that was supposed to officially make Lesnar vs. Femi at WrestleMania 42 signed and sealed. The show went off the air without a single signature on the page. Ringside News. But here's where it gets infuriating. Segment 3: Netflix cut the broadcast, and then hides their evidence. Some fans felt completely underwhelmed because the Raw broadcast on Netflix was cut off early. The credits rolled while Lesnar and Femi were still brawling. Yahoo Sports, you read that correctly. Netflix cut the broadcast while the two main event performers for WrestleMania Night 2 were still going at it. And what happened after the credits rolled? Lesnar was completely losing his mind, tossing ring steps back into the ring as officials tried to restore order. Femi answered back by throwing the steps right back at Lesnar, who was standing outside the ring. Femi then delivered a powerbomb to one of the officials while Lesnar watched from the entrance ramp. Clutch points. An official powerbombed. Oba Femi didn't just destroy Brock Lesnar in this segment, he put his hands on a WWE official because the rage inside of him could not be contained. And WWE had to upload the full footage on social media because they literally couldn't fit it into their Netflix time slot. Trivia question 3: drop it in the comments. Should WWE be fined or sanctioned for cutting that broadcast early and hiding the most explosive moment of the show? Yes or no? Let us know. But wait, because Netflix didn't just cut the broadcast early, they also censored it. When Femi entered the ring, fans were clearly in a frenzy, screaming "Holy SHT" chants loud enough to shake the Toyota Center, but Netflix edited that crowd reaction to "This is awesome" chants in their replay, presumably to maintain a PG-friendly broadcast. ITR Wrestling. So let me get this straight. You have two of the most physically imposing men on the planet trying to murder each other in the middle of a wrestling ring. The crowd is losing their minds with organic, real emotion. And Netflix's response is, let's dub that over with something cleaner. This is the sanitization of professional wrestling, and you should be angry about it. Segment 4: The Collateral Damage. Who got hurt? Let's talk about the casualties of this segment, because it wasn't just Lesnar and Femi going to war. Everyone in that ring paid a price. First, Adam Pearce. Femi shoved Pearce aside with such force that the Raw GM went flying into a barricade, leaving him with visible bruising. Pearce later posted a photo of the injury on Instagram, adding a humorous note that he would not be inviting Femi to his barbecue. ITR Wrestling. I respect the humor, Adam, but your ribs probably don't. Then there was the security team. And here's where this story gets fascinating. Following the chaotic segment, the identities of several security guards were revealed, and they were not random extras. Ringside News. The first guard, a bald man who was launched into the barricade, was identified as Marcus D'Angelo, an independent wrestler based in Pittsburgh who works for International Wrestling Cartel. He had also appeared as security on a recent SmackDown episode, where he was thrown over a table by Randy Orton. WrestleZone. This man is out here collecting damage like it's a career path. Another guard who was thrown into the air and landed hard on his hip outside the ring was Calvin Dumorn, a wrestler trained by Donovan Dijak at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. WrestleZone. Dijak responded on Twitter, posting, "Please stop murdering my students." 411 Mania. And then the crowning moment of the entire segment. Brock Lesnar delivered the final blow of the night, hitting a security guard with an F5 as he made his way up the entrance ramp. Yahoo Sports. So to recap, Oba Femi destroyed the furniture, powerbombed an official, sent Adam Pearce into a barricade, and launched trained wrestlers across the ring. And Brock Lesnar F5'd a security guard on the way out like it was a casual Tuesday. These are not wrestlers having a segment. These are animals who cannot be contained. Trivia question 4: Calvin Dumorn, the guard Femi launched, has also appeared on a major TV show outside wrestling. Drop in the comments if you know which show. Hint: it involves zombies. Segment 5: Triple H Controversy, the Spotlight Thief. Now, let's address the part of this story that the internet is furious about. Because it's not just about Lesnar and Femi anymore. There's a power play happening behind the scenes that veterans of this industry are calling out publicly. Vince Russo publicly accused Triple H of inserting himself into the spotlight during the Lesnar-Femi segment at Madison Square Garden on the 30th of March, claiming Triple H's appearance shifted the focus away from the two competitors and onto himself. Ringside News. Former WWE veteran Ben Hammond went even further on Russo's podcast, criticizing Triple H and Stephanie McMahon for inserting themselves into WrestleMania storylines instead of booking the feud strongly enough that their presence wouldn't even be necessary, arguing they were placing themselves as the centerpin pieces of the feuds. TJR Wrestling. And the quote that everyone is talking about, Hammond suggested that both Lesnar and Femi were smart enough to recognize what was happening, saying Triple H was effectively taking their spotlight away in a moment that should have belonged entirely to them. TJR Wrestling. Trivia question 5, this one's hot. Do you think Triple H books himself into segments because he genuinely believes it elevates the talent, or because after all these years, he still can't resist being in the center of the camera? Drop your honest opinion below. No wrong answers. Here's the real issue with Triple H's involvement. Lesnar and Femi do not need a moderator. They do not need a babysitter. They do not need the chief content officer of WWE walking out in a suit to separate them like they are kids in a schoolyard. WWE's own preview acknowledged that Triple H might have to get involved because of Pierce's poor judgment. Cage-side seats, but involvement is one thing. Stealing the energy of a segment that was organically producing one of the hottest crowd reactions of the entire WrestleMania season is something different entirely. Segment 6, the WrestleMania 42 stakes. Now let's talk about what this all means for WrestleMania 42. The 19th of April, Night 2, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lesnar vs. Femi is slated for the opening of the second night, with the first hour of Night 2 broadcasting on ESPN, giving this match one of the biggest mainstream platforms it could possibly have, largely due to Lesnar's crossover appeal from his UFC career. Yahoo Sports. Think about what that means. This is not a mid-card match buried in the middle of a 5-hour show. This is WWE saying, this is what we open primetime ESPN with. This is our statement to a mainstream sports audience. Oba Femi vs. Brock Lesnar is the match WWE is putting in front of the casual fan first, before anything else, before any championship, before any long-term feud. This is the first image people who don't watch wrestling regularly will see on WrestleMania weekend. Trivia question 6, if you had to predict a finish, does Oba Femi win clean? Does Lesnar win with interference, or does this end in a disqualification and a rematch at the next premium live event? Drop your prediction right now in the comments. The comment with the most likes by Friday gets pinned. And here's the thing that nobody is talking about enough. Oba Femi has been dominant in every pre-match encounter. In the weeks since their feud began, Femi has largely gotten the better of Lesnar in their physical exchanges, delivering powerbombs and clotheslines that have put the beast on the defensive. Yahoo Sports, in the traditional WWE storytelling playbook, that usually means one thing: the opponent who has been dominant in the build loses at the big show. The babyface, in this case Lesnar, who the crowd has been weirdly receptive toward, gets his moment. But here's the counter-argument. Oba Femi is 26 years old. Brock Lesnar is 48. One of these men has a future in WWE that stretches another decade. The other one has WrestleMania 42. So what does WWE do? Do they protect their future? Or do they give the legend one more moment? Trivia question 7, final question and most important, who do you believe should win this match for the good of WWE's long-term future, regardless of who you think actually will win Femi's future versus Lesnar's legacy? Comment below, make your case. We are reading every single one. Closing call to action. Here is the bottom line of everything you just watched. WWE put two of the most legitimately dangerous men on their roster in the same ring, on the same night, with a contract signing that was never going to go smoothly. It produced one of the most chaotic, visceral, and compelling television moments of this entire WrestleMania season. And then Netflix cut it off early, then they edited the crowd reaction. Then Triple H showed up and half the wrestling world is arguing about whether he stole the spotlight. Meanwhile, the match still hasn't been officially signed because nobody got to that table before it got demolished. This is the most unpredictable, most dangerous, and most electrifying feud heading into WrestleMania 42. And in 8 days, inside Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, we are going to find out if Oba Femi is truly the future of WWE, or if Brock Lesnar reminds the entire world why there is only one beast incarnate. If this video gave you everything you needed, smash that like button right now. Share this with every wrestling fan you know, because the conversation in the comments is already going to be insane. Subscribe to Wrestling Zone 1 if you haven't already, because we are going to have full WrestleMania 42 coverage, breakdowns, reactions, and aftermath analysis all weekend long. The war between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi is not over. It hasn't even started yet. Las Vegas, get ready. Word count, ~2,500 words questions embedded, 7 sources, WWE.com, Wrestling Incorporated, Yahoo Sports, Ringside News, ITR Wrestling, TJR Wrestling, Cageside Seats, 411 Mania bullet point summary for your records. Feud origin, Royal Rumble the 31st of January, Riyadh Lesnar eliminated Femi via Logan Paul distraction. Femi dominated every physical encounter on the 16th of March 1923, and 30 Raw episodes. April the 6th Raw Houston, contract signing broke down before any signatures, table destroyed, security overwhelmed. Netflix cut the broadcast early, Lesnar tossed steps, Femi powerbombed an official post-show. Netflix also edited crowd chants from Holy *T to This Is Awesome in replay. Adam Pearce bruised by Femi's shove into barricade, posted injury photo on Instagram. Security guards revealed as indie wrestlers, Marcus D'Angelo IWC Pittsburgh, and now I have all the verified details I need. Let me note clearly that ambulance element in your title is a creative / dramatic framing device. There's no confirmed ambulance moment in the verified reporting, so I'll craft the script around the real chaos which is more than dramatic enough and build the ambulance angle as a dramatic storytelling exaggeration rooted in the destructions caused, clearly in your channel's hyperbolic style. Here is your full script, Nepwa. Lesnar F5DA security guard on the ramp on his way out. Vince Russo and Ben Hammond publicly accused Triple H of stealing spotlight from Lesnar and Femi at MSG the 30th of March. Match scheduled for WrestleMania 42 Night 2 the 19th of April, opening ESPN's primetime broadcast.